Hi everybody, it's Tuesday Triumph time, 7 o'clock my time, maybe 8 o'clock your time if you're on the East Coast. I don't know what, on the West Coast, let's see, it would be 5-ish. I'm wearing my new Charlie Brown Peanuts Christmas pajamas tonight. I was feeling Christmassy, so after I got out of the shower, I thought I'll just put my warm fuzzy jammies on. So tell me when you jump in here so I'll know who's here. I see 2 people's already in here with me. 4, that doubles quickly. Good deal. I didn't put my contacts in today, so I've got my spectacles on so I can see. That's Mary Dooley. Hey Mary. Hi Bonnie. Bonnie, you should have an email about the sleigh this afternoon. It should have went out then. Hi Rita. How are you doing? And Rita again. Rita, Randy's on the phone with Jim right now. There's Janelle. How are you, Janelle? Hi Melissa. Hi Sandy. All our friends are gathering here. There's Kathy. Good deal. Everybody's coming on in. I've been sitting here making out the Thanksgiving menu. We're having our Thanksgiving this Saturday. Hi Helene and Tammy and Susie and Debbie. Debbie, same thing. You should have an email about the sleigh. Hi Stacy. Hey Brenda. Hi Debbie. Again, Debbie. Hi, Carla. Carla, you should have an email about the sleigh, too. So, if I don't write it down, there's a good chance I won't remember to cook it. All right. Good deal. And here is my ingredient list so far. So, we're having our family Thanksgiving on Saturday. That's when all the kids and grandkids will be here. You have to go to the notifications to find me, not on the Holy Mess site. Is that for the video, Helene? Okay. You gals that volunteered as mentors for the sleigh should have an email about the mentoring, hopefully. Hi, Marta. Glad you jumped in. Okay, for now, okay. All right. Hope everybody's had a good week. I made something today. Do you ever cook something and then kind of forget about it? Hi, Leanne. Hey, Alice. Sometimes I make something and then, I don't know, I eat it for a while and I guess just get tired of it, kind of forget about it. Well, I got to thinking today, oh, Helene, I would never get anything fixed. This is... I do this every time we have a big family meal or get together or Christmas. Hey Terry, how are you? I sit down and write. Hey Connie, I write everything down. Kathy, you had to do this today too. Hey Kate, I write all of it down. I write who's doing it, what day I need to do it. Hey Sharon, hi Tammy Joy. I'm proud you were able to make it. Hopefully, you'll feel better when we get off here. I know you're having a hard time right now with your mom. But anyway, like I can prep this on Friday. I can make this on Saturday, which is the morning of. It seems like Friday's going to be a big cooking day, I think. Anyway, so far our menu is turkey dressing, mashed potatoes, green beans, corn casserole, get it out, 2 kinds of cranberry sauce, the canned and the fresh, a veggie plate in the shape of a turkey, it's for the grandkids, ranch dip, rolls, that's my grandma's roll recipe, gravy, pasta salad, wild rice, and the 0-point cheesecake with no sugar cherry pie filling, pumpkin fluff, pecan pie. I'm making turkey legs out of Cocoa Krispies and pretzel rods for my grandkids. My sister-in-law's bringing chocolate chip cranberry cookies, and she said they were low sugar. Just the craisins have the sugar in it. banana pudding, and my one daughter-in-law's making deviled eggs. Okay, the cornbread stuffing recipe or just cornbread, Helene? So then from that, I take it and turn it into a shopping list. Hey, Sue. Sometimes, like, I've got a lot of it, but by the time I make it up, I'll wipe out what I've got, so I'll get enough for replenishing. Tammy Joy says at least for a little bit. She's doing good. I'm proud she's a little better. That's good. Oh, I'm sorry, Tammy. That's hard. Being a caregiver is hard work. I did. I gave you how to make Southern-style cornbread, how I do mine the diet way. I'll send you a dressing recipe I use. So I have a hard time with recipes because I'm so bad to go a little bit more. And my recipes, if I've made the recipe up, it's going to say stir it till it feels right. Poor Helene, when she asked how I made cornbread, I told her, and this is what I always say, add enough water till it's like cake-like batter. I don't know how much that is. I cook with my eyes. Hi, Gaylen and Victoria. Hello, hello. And the dog barked, of course. All right. Well, all of this food that we've been talking about, I'm afraid, yes, it is, Tammy. You know, girl. This is those jammies I showed you guys the other night. I've got on my Charlie Brown pajamas, Christmas pajamas tonight. I'll tell you what, this Slay the Scale challenge has got me in the Christmas mood. I'm telling you. So I'm actually looking forward to decorating. I'm getting ready with Slay the Scale. I've had Christmas on the brain, so I'm getting excited for Christmas. So after I got out of the shower this evening, I thought, oh, I'm just going to put my jammies on. We need to have a pajama night. This is like a big pajama party if anybody else has got their jammies on already. And I have my pink fuzzy house shoes on. Hi, Sarah. Sarah, I just told him we was having pajama party tonight. I've got on my Charlie Brown peanut Christmas pajamas. It's the sleigh, I'm telling you. It's got me all in the Christmas mood. So I'm getting excited for it. Few things that's coming up. Tonight we are going to be talking about anti-inflammatory foods. And in 2025, we will have a 7-day meal plan available and a challenge coming up too on a 7-day anti-inflammatory dinner challenge. That will be on later in the year. Our first challenge will be in January the 25th, I think. I should have written the dates down. But 25th through the 29th, I think. And it will be the 3-day diet challenge, just like we've all got. And in fact, when I was going through you got your jammies on too, Debbie. Good, that makes me feel better. Whenever I was going through recipes a while ago, I ran across the cabbage soup diet, and I jokingly said, we'll all be doing this soon. But the 3-day diet's really good to do. It's just a nice reset for me. And in relation to anti-inflammatory foods, I find that I feel better when I eat from the 3-day diet plan because I'm eating almost totally green foods on the calorie density. No processed foods to speak of. So anyway, what I was going to tell you guys that I made, I ran down a rabbit hole earlier. They call it protein pudding. It was one of those TikTok recipes going around a few years ago. But I had the caramel popcorn flavored Premier Protein and, the little cardboard cartons. I had those. My light's kind of blinded me. Turn that out of my face. I had some of those shakes, and what I did, I added a whole box of the sugar-free cheesecake pudding to it and whisked it in, and it made almost like a thick custard type pudding that I could cut like with a knife. And I've eaten the whole bowl throughout the day. Like I had half of it with lunch, half of it with supper. And I'd forgotten how much I really liked those. And you can make any flavor. One of my favorite flavors that I used to make, and I just kind of burned out on it, was to use a vanilla protein shake and pistachio pudding. I liked that together. So, if you need a dessert for the holidays, that's a real easy one to whip up in your kitchen. And you don't have to add the whole box. About half a box of the instant pudding would have been enough, but I wanted mine super duper thick. And then I got to thinking, I wonder how it would be if I whisked in some pumpkin. So I might play with that. I didn't need a mixer, Susie. I have like a wire whisk that's got like a rubber silicone coating on it, and it's not that long. It's a little whisk, and I just whisked it with that and stuck it in the fridge. It thickens really quick. So no, you don't have to use a mixer. In fact, if you were like wanting to take it like to work or on the go, you could even make it up in a shaker bottle and then just eat it with a spoon out of the shaker bottle. But it makes a really good dessert. It's just real decadent. And you can add to it. You could put fruit in it. You can do anything you want with it. But I just went basic caramel and caramel popcorn flavor shake. I use one shake, and then the cheesecake pudding mix. And it almost tasted like butterscotch pie. It was really good. So I may make, I think I have one vanilla shake, and I may try to do that with some vanilla or cheesecake, instant pudding, and make a pumpkin version just to play with it. So I thought, well, what brand? I prefer Premier Protein. I've got some Splenda shakes. I think that's the vanilla. I've not got a lot on hand right now. I have them more in the summer whenever I'm making fruit smoothies or something like that. But I like the Premier Protein in the little boxes. I noticed the other day at Walmart they had a chocolate mint flavor out for the holidays. So I order mine from Sam's. Mostly it's usually a little bit cheaper to do that if they'll ship them. Sometimes they won't ship liquids, but they usually ship that. So, okay, so anti-inflammatory diet foods. Oh no, what are we going to talk about? Whenever I was getting our lesson together, and Terry, our lovely Terry, put together the best list. I put the link to the printable the other day on the web page, and it has a list of what to eat and what not to eat, and a real pretty, I like pictures, a real pretty picture guide to foods. And when I was looking at the foods here, almost every single one of them are green calorie density. So just a little interesting tidbit. I think, and I don't do this. This is one of those don't do as I do as I say do. I think that our bodies do better when we eat the least processed, most whole foods possible. After having telling you about how to make a protein pudding with instant pudding mix and a protein shake, that's pretty highly processed food, as opposed to like a banana, which is not processed. So anyway, when I was thinking about this anti-inflammatory eating plan and what we were going to talk about, one thing I want to know is, first of all, do I need to eat an anti-inflammatory diet? And this time I'm using the D word as our eating plan, not the D word for weight loss. So do I need to eat anti-inflammatory foods? What benefit would I get from eating anti-inflammatory foods? Does it help me lose weight? Those are questions I had. And believe it or not, an anti-inflammatory diet was the most popular plan that the Holy Mess had requested over the past year. So we are really excited to bring it to you in 2025. Do as you mean for us to do. Yes, that's it. We all have that in our minds. We know what to do, and then we know what we're going to do. I like, we talked about food having that bliss point, and the most processed foods has that bliss point, whereas a plain potato's just not got it like it does when you make it into a potato chip, We talked about that a few weeks ago. We each have our off-plan foods we like to eat. Absolutely. We're living our life, and we can't let food drive our car. Remember, our adult is driving the car and not our toddler. So, you don't remember the bliss point food? Helene, you'll have to go back and try to find that. What that is it's a balance of carbs, fats, and sugars in processed foods that creates this happy spot for us, which makes us crave them more and more. It's kind of like a cycle. And you can research it too on Google. Just put food bliss point, and it'll lead you up to some good information. That's been a few weeks ago. We talked about that. So what would you get out of following an anti-inflammatory diet? Now, to be honest, my information and wanting to know about it was self-motivated because of arthritic pain, and fibromyalgia pain. And also, I noticed the more processed foods I reincorporated back into my daily diet, the worse I tended to feel. And when I ate more whole foods, the better I tended to feel. And about the second day on the 3-day diet plan, it's just kind of like I jumped a hurdle and really started feeling better. And I hadn't been feeling very good up until that time because I had been playing with processed foods. And I know on the points, we get asked, or I get asked a lot, and I'm sure Sarah does as well, do you use your banked points? I'm asked that a lot. Well, when I was in weight loss mode, very rarely, maybe on a holiday, I would use my banked foods. Now, whenever I dual track calories and points, I am always into my banked foods because I am eating more processed foods instead of more of the whole natural foods. So that's just an interesting little tidbit on the banked points. I think that those are there for these higher point foods that we want to indulge in, not necessarily just to eat more, but like whenever you look at something that has 100 calories like an apple, and then something that has 100 calories like a miniature candy bar, and the miniature candy bar's got 5 points and the apple has none. I think that's why we have those weekly points built in, is because this 100 calories is going to cost us from our saved points. So I'd kind of been playing around with that concept too. I'm always experimenting on myself. Leanna says the difference in pain level cannot even be put into words. That is absolutely the truth. You're absolutely right. And the anti-inflammatory diet, part of the benefits, and I'm sure there's many more, improvement. Now, I'm not going to say we're all going to feel like we're running marathons by including more of these foods, but improvement of symptoms of arthritis, inflammatory bowel disease, lupus, and other autoimmune disorders. Autoimmune disorders, eczema is an autoimmune disorder, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, all of those are, and there's many, many more, are autoimmune disorders, which is where your body fails to recognize parts of itself and kind of turns against and attacks itself. Also, with an anti-inflammatory diet, there is decreased risk of obesity, heart disease, diabetes, depression, and even cancer. We can have lower blood pressure. We can have better cognitive function. Lord knows I need that. And mental health, plus relief from other chronic issues. So foods that are anti-inflammatory tend to be rich in vitamins, minerals, omega-3 fats, antioxidants, and other compounds that support our immune system and help it to work better, so that our immune system is not attacking us, so our immune system is more functional. This is interesting too, and should highly motivate us all. An anti-inflammatory diet protects our cells from damage and blocks the inflammatory pathways in our body. So there's a lot of benefits from eating from the anti-inflammatory food list. And, you know, I'm a rebellious sort, and if you tell me I have a food list, well, the first thing I'm going to do is want something not on that food list. But the food list is actually pretty broad, and it is basically whole, unprocessed foods when it gets down to the nitty-gritty of it. There are many things we can do to reduce our inflammation. A balance. You know, you can be extreme either direction. You can be extreme this direction or extreme this direction. But a proper balance of protein, carbs, and fat at each meal, so that you're not having a carb-rich meal or a protein-rich meal. It's balanced. And that meets our body's needs better, which helps our body to work better. Different diets. Hold on, drink. I do like this sparkling water. Walmart makes it, the Clear American. Pineapple coconut's one of my favorites. It's basically soda, diet soda. But it sounds so much better to say I'm drinking sparkling water than a diet soda. That's what gets me, artificial sweeteners. I consume way too many of those. Okay, different diets that we hear thrown out there, which I don't really believe in any sort of labeled diet. No, tomatoes are actually good for us, Celine. They're very good for us. They're on the list of anti-inflammatory foods. Mediterranean lifestyle diets, low-carb diets, vegetarian, all of those are linked to lower inflammation in the body. So if we go to the list that Terry's provided us, I'm going to read from the pictures first because they're pretty. Okay, think of your 0-point foods if you do Weight Watchers, and the green and yellow calorie density in particular when I read these off. Berries, salmon, turmeric, the spice, that's good for a lot of things, but in inflammation in particular. Leafy greens, broccoli. Okay, here's one. The salmon would have been a yellow, and olive oil would be a red because it's dense in calories. Yes, unfortunately, artificial sweeteners do cause inflammation, and I am, like I say, the worst on those. Olive oil, nuts. Nuts is a red calorie density food, but it's very healthy. I do eat nuts. If I don't get enough fat in my diet. Tomatoes, ginger, avocado, green tea, garlic, beets, carrots, pineapple, chia seeds, bell peppers, dark chocolate. You know I love me some chocolate. Mushrooms and cherries. Those are the top 20 anti-inflammatory foods. So those are foods you want to include more of in your diet. And those are basically very healthy whole foods. The ones that I would have calorie-wise the hardest time incorporating would be olive oil, just a little. It's like the Bible verse where if you find honey, eat just enough. Just a little olive oil. We don't need typically as much oil as we think we do. Chia seeds, I've been seeing, has anybody ever drank chia seed water? I've been seeing that all over the internet, and I hadn't braved up enough to try it. I like chia seeds put like in an oatmeal or something like that, but I've not tried the chia seed water yet. Of course, dark chocolate, I like that. Can diabetics sweeten without artificial sweeteners? Not particularly, because like whenever I had to watch with my diabetes, when I was like on insulin and on medication, honey would drive my sugar up just like they gave it to me IV. Honey, even though it's a natural sweetener and maple syrup is a natural sweetener, it tends to really drive up blood sugar really fast. So diabetics, they do better with like 0-calorie sweeteners. And there are natural sweeteners. And, we have the stevia, which is natural. I personally am not a stevia fan. I know a lot of people are. Now, allulose, I really like allulose. In fact, it's on my grocery list, is for some allulose. And I like it. It's fig-based, plant-based, but it has zeros, like 0 calories, 0 sugars, all of that stuff. So, like, stevia and allulose are natural sweeteners. Monk fruit, forgot monk fruit. I always forget monk fruit, and I don't know why, because I have monk fruit. Those are natural sweeteners that, me too, Marta. I've tried, I promise. I've tried more than one brand in more than one thing, and I still can taste it. The monk fruit, Susie, I like it too. I had some like brown sugar replacement that was the monk fruit, and I sprinkled it over a bag of like the Orville Redenbacher's kettle corn, the little 100-calorie bags. I sprinkled some of that over it, and it had a really nice taste. It didn't have that special artificial sweetener whang to it. Okay, so foods that we want to avoid with trying to include more of these anti-inflammatory foods. This one, I've got it aced. Red meat. I'm allergic to beef, so I don't get red meat. So that one I'm good with. Then it just kind of goes down like this for me on that. Red meats tend to drive up our inflammation. Processed meats, such as hot dogs, canned tuna, canned chicken, lunch meats, cured meats, all of those kind of processed meats. What about coconut palm sugar? I don't know much about it. I'm sure there is, Becky. I just looked for allulose, and I don't think what I bought at Walmart had a brand. But you can get it at Walmart. They have it there. And I think they have it at Kroger, too. Of course, the health food stores would have it, but it might be a little pricier there. And I don't remember, I don't think Aldi has it. I think Walmart or Kroger is where I've gotten my allulose before. I'm certainly hoping to get some at Walmart tomorrow. Commercial baked goods. Now, commercial baked goods, you can say, oh, well, I don't eat anything like that. Well, I eat bread. I eat the 40-calorie a slice bread. And the next thing under commercially baked goods is white flour bread and pasta. So by the time we get a package of bread in our house, it's been processed a whole lot. Yes, Amazon has everything. You're right, Susie. They have everything. Fast foods, deep fried foods, high sugar foods, sugar sweetened beverages, trans fat, all of those are going to drive up our inflammation. So those are foods we want to avoid. Now, does it mean you can never, ever, ever have a hamburger on a good white fluffy bun again? No. It's just, those are like treat foods if you want to keep your inflammation down. And instead of, and like I say, this is me not doing this all the time. I am satisfied if I take like some of the 99% fat-free ground turkey and fry my little burger patties up. I'm just as satisfied with that for a sandwich as I am with lunch meat. I usually buy the Oscar Mayer, I call it the round meat, the roasted turkey, because it's quicker, it's easier. So that's usually when I have a sandwich what I have. But I'm also just as happy and about the same calories if I make a patty and, cook up a whole pound at one time and keep them in the refrigerator and have a turkey patty which has nothing but ground turkey white ground turkey in it. So, you know, I could do better. There's always room for improvement. Yes, figs and raisins. Allulose is from the fiber part of that. It's a healthy sweetener. I tend to navigate towards Splenda as my preferred sweetener. I guess I've just used it for so long. I need to work more toward allulose and less Splenda probably. And you know, a lot of times people that are trying to change from one sweetener to another, you can mix it half and half for a while and then go 2/3 to a third and then work that way. Oh, that's okay, Julia. I'm proud you made it. Had to leave work later than you hoped. Oh, I hate it when that happens. Absolutely. So foods to avoid again. Foods that are high in sugar, high in the high fructose corn syrup. You know, if you start trying to eliminate corn syrup, and I've heard people that were allergic to corn syrup and had to eliminate that from their diet, you would be surprised where corn syrup turns up. I mean, it is crazy. It's just, they just throw that stuff in everything anymore. Trans fats and alcohol, believe it or not. Now, the only alcohol I think that was semi-okay was red wine. It tends to be a healthier alcohol alternative. So, minimize sugary beverages such as sodas, even fruit juices, because most of them have added sugars if you read on there. And also, even if it doesn't have, that's okay, Stephanie. I'm just proud you guys made it. Even, excuse me, even if juice is 100% natural, you get, just think about if you juiced one orange, how much juice would you get out of an orange? Maybe that much in a cup. So if you drink the juice, like a cup of juice, then you're eating like the juice of 5 oranges, for instance, something like that. You've always heard red wine was bad for arthritis and white wine was better. I've always heard red wine was supposed to be good for you cardiac-wise, in a small amount, I will say that. Not in the bottled amount. Okay, refined carbs, which is going to be anything white. White bread, white pasta, and, you know, used to, oh, your lights are flickering? Oh, I hope not. My husband asked me last night, I guess, he said, did our lights just blink? And I was like, I don't think so. If they did, I missed it. It was pretty windy here, though, last night. You know, even when you buy brown bread, it can still be processed. You know, we see wheat bread and think, oh, wheat bread, healthy bread. But many times it's not whole wheat, whole grain, because they have processed it and then re-enriched it. So even though it's brown bread, doesn't necessarily make it healthier than white bread. So that's a little thing to watch for, and read your labels in the store. What is it? Dave's Killer Bread. I've heard good things about it. And the Ezekiel bread. I've heard good things about both of those being pretty natural. Now, they are higher calorie. You got high winds. Oh, a cyclone off the coast of Washington. Wow. Oh, I hope everything's okay, Kathy. Hope you don't get any storms out of that. Wow. Okay, desserts, of course. Cookies, candy, cake, ice cream, all of those good things. Now, my little Thanksgiving list here, if I go back and look at it, I have the 0 Point Weight Watchers cheesecake, the Holy Mess Recipes Guided. I think in fact, I may have posted it last week. I've posted it recently, and I like to have leftovers of it, and I feel zero guilt in eating that for breakfast because it's basically yogurt and eggs. So that's on my list to make as one of my me desserts. Pumpkin fluff is pretty processed, but it's a better alternative. as opposed to like banana pudding that I make with Eagle brand milk, and like pecan pie that's made with corn syrup. So, you know, sometimes you have to it's like Sarah says, you have to pick your hard. You have to pick the least offensive of them all. Oh, sourdough is good for you. I know a lot of fermented foods are good for you, so that would make sense about sourdough. I was just, when I was looking at recipes this evening, looking at, my aunt used to make the best sourdough, and her starter, she fed it with instant potatoes and sugar, and oh, it was the best bread. I've got the recipe to start the starter, but I don't need to start the starter and make the bread, nor do anybody I live with need me to do that. Okay, processed snack foods. Oh boy, chips, crackers, pretzels. What else can you think of? Probably Orville Redenbacher's 100 calorie a bag kettle corn, popped kettle corn. Certain oils, not all oils, but processed oils and vegetable oils such as soybean and corn oil, canola oil. That's why it says olive oil is a better choice than like just a generic vegetable oil. So after reading all of this, my inquisitive mind got to wondering, how long does it take, if I did this, if I ate, like, I'm going to say 75% of my food from the less inflammatory food groups, if I did that, how long would it take me to start feeling benefits? Now, when I done the 3-day diet after being on more processed foods, I started feeling better pretty soon, which gave me a lot of hope when I read this. It says there's evidence that the anti-inflammatory effect can be felt within 3 months and a greater impact after a year. Now, I'm one of those people, I've got a lot of patience as long as it don't take too long. So when I read that, I was like, 3 months to a year? I don't know about that. But honestly, this isn't that different than how I eat now. It's just thinking about it and prepping more and putting a little bit more effort into it. And like I said, instead of reaching for a package of lunch meat in the store, buy the ground meat and bring home and cook myself. Or make a roast. You know, you can, like, it's turkey season. Turkey season's coming up. You know, I love a cold turkey sandwich after Thanksgiving or Christmas. You know, make a chicken and have cold chicken. You can make chicken salad. You know, I've done that with leftover fish. Like if I have done catfish in the air fryer, the next day made a fish sandwich. So, you know, we reach for these processed foods because they're quick and they're easy and they're prepared. But if we prep a little bit, it would be a lot healthier for us, I know, and definitely with the sodium content that's in the food. So the next question I wondered after studying this far is that in 3 months you're starting to feel a lot better, and after a year, that's when the greatest impact kicks in. So, will you lose weight eating an anti-inflammatory diet? I don't see how you could miss, because these are almost all green density foods, almost every bit of it. It said in my research that I done that most people aren't seeking weight loss when they do an anti-inflammatory diet. They're after the health benefits that they could reap. So the anti-inflammatory diet may not result in immediate weight loss, but by eliminating processed foods with added sugars and increasing your fruits and vegetables and whole grains, your overall wellness will improve, which will then result in weight loss. So yes, you will lose weight following an anti-inflammatory diet. But like we've said before, losing weight is calorie-based. You have to be in a calorie deficit instead of a calorie surplus. If you're in a calorie surplus, which is more calories than your body needs, you gain weight. If you're in a calorie deficit, you have less calories than your body needs, but not too many less, just enough less for slow weight loss. So it says a study specifically looking at reduced calorie anti-inflammatory foods concluded that it would help adults manage obesity. After 6 months, participants lost 7% of their body weight and had naturally reduced their caloric intake. You know, I like crackers, I like potato chips, I like pretzels, I have those in the house. And if I reached for baby carrots as much as I reached for pretzels, you know, that would probably make a huge difference, because I know I wouldn't eat as many calories of carrots as I would pretzels. Carla says we like the convenience. Yes, we do. I'm all about it. Yeah, less processed. You know, they say as whole of a food as we can eat is what is healthiest for us. But, you know, and shop the perimeter of the grocery store. I don't eat a lot of boxed foods, but I do eat some. Just like lunch meat. 7%, Linda, said that after 6 months, participants who chose more anti-inflammatory foods lost 7% of their body weight. And they also had a naturally reduced caloric intake because of the type of foods they were eating. So, like I said, like they were picking carrots over potato chips, which would naturally reduce your calories. If weight loss is our goal, though, we do have to keep an eye on our calories or points. Now, out of this list, if you're a point counter, berries, salmon, turmeric, leafy greens, broccoli, cherries, tomatoes, ginger. Is avocado 0 point or not? They keep going back and forth. I can't remember. It was at one time a 0 point food. Garlic, beets, carrots, pineapples, bell peppers, and mushrooms. All of those are 0 points. The food that has points out of this list would be olive oil, nuts. Now, the fruits would if you're on the diabetic plan. I have to put that little caveat in there. But what would have points out of this list would be olive oil, nuts. Question on avocados. I have to look that back up. I don't eat a lot of avocados. Chia seeds, and the dark chocolate. So, you know, this is really basically eating very low point foods. Oh, I'm so happy you signed up, Marta. And nobody guessed my first name, by the way, for you, those of y'all that are in the sleigh. And if you know me, you can't put it on here because that's cheating. So nobody's got it right. I can't remember who put Margaret. That was closest. Almost. LaNette is not my first name. So you slayers get over there and get to guessing. That was one of our games we played this week. Not my first name. It was a funny game. I thought that they had moved avocados back into the point category. Is it like 2 points a quarter? 3 points a quarter of an avocado? I don't eat many avocados. It's not that I dislike them. They just don't have a whole lot of flavor to me. If I'm going to eat them, I'm going to like have avocado toast with everything bagel seasoning. That's my favorite way. It's just something I don't eat a lot of. And to be honest, I go from not ripe to rotten in 3 days. I don't know how that happens. It's like I wait, and then boop, it's gone. Not good now. I don't know, does anybody else ever do that with avocados? Or like bananas, waiting on your bananas to ripen, and all of a sudden, oh boy, they're past use. So, are there any bad effects of eating an anti-inflammatory diet? That's something else that we also want to know. You know, will this hurt me in any way? They have found that there are no major downsides or side effects from eating an Okay, 2 points for a quarter. Okay, I thought that's what it was the last time it had points. And then once they threw the purple and the green and the blue and all that, I got confused on who had what. And then we went back to something else, and I kind of got lost in amongst it. And especially, I don't eat a lot of them. So there are no downsides to eating an anti-inflammatory diet, but there is kind of like a learning curve on inflammatory fighting foods, on what to eat and what to avoid. Because every one of us could eat the same thing and it affect us differently. So if you've identified something in particular, like dark chocolate, I'll just pull that out of my hat. If dark chocolate, you notice that you hurt worse, or you don't feel as good, you feel more sluggish or tired or run down, then even though it's on that list, that should be a food you should avoid. Back when I used to have to take Coumadin for a blood thinner, I take a different blood thinner now and I can eat what I want. But when I was on Coumadin, I couldn't eat a lot of dark green leafy vegetables because it would throw my clotting factor off. So that's one reason I had my doctor to change my blood thinner, is so, because I was all over the place, having to take more, take less, take less, take more, depending on how many things I ate. And green beans was supposed to be one of the less foods that would affect it in the green vegetable department. It thickened me every time if I ate a lot of green beans. So we can all have a different effect from the same food. But I think if we were looking for a downside, you can find a downside to anything. I could adjust to lesser processed foods as far as what I would like to eat and what I could enjoy and how I could incorporate it into my daily eating. But I would have to figure out more on the meal prep, which is something I need to work more on anyway. And I would probably have to put more effort into what am I going to fix to take, what am I going to have in the refrigerator to grab, because if you're not grabbing popcorn, what are you going to grab? Now, air popped popcorn probably wouldn't hurt you as bad as like Orville in the bag does. So I thought this was really interesting, and I am looking forward to trying some of the recipes when we do the anti-inflammatory challenge and when the meal plan's released. I'm looking forward to learning some of these and incorporating them in. And I guess a good way, if you put 2 of these foods in your diet rotation, take 2 of the more inflammatory causing foods out and just slowly go into it. I don't ever do well if I say, okay, this is all gone, not ever eating this again. I don't ever do well with that. So I would probably do better by saying I'm replacing these 2 foods with these 2 foods and kind of get a settle on that and then go a little deeper in for myself. So does anybody already eat an anti-inflammatory diet, or primarily that way, or try to? Like I say, my artificial sweetener, what's this sweetened with? Even though it's sparkling water, so it's basically just soda. And it is sweetened with aspartame. That's like one of the worst ones. That's equal, I think. So I definitely need to work on that. You know, water's good. And then I take it and add to it. So our crumbs from the table this week, in thinking about Thanksgiving and a grateful heart and being happy with what we've got, I have to, before I do the crumbs from the table verse, I have to tell you, 2 weeks ago, like last week and the week before that, I was sick. I had like a cold and didn't feel good. And when you have an inflammatory condition, if you get one thing out of whack, then that goes out of whack too. So that went out of whack. And all during this time, we had to have our bathroom floor tore out and replaced. And the oven element went out in between family reunion and Thanksgiving. So this week has been a week of trying to get caught back up, getting the floor fixed before family comes Saturday, getting the oven element fixed. So I've been pretty whiny. I have to admit, I get pretty whiny. So our crumbs from the table is kind of motivated from my own life right now. It's Philippians 4:19, and this is the NIV version. God will meet all of your needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus. You know, is my husband going to get the floor fixed? What will we do if we don't get the floor fixed? What if the oven part doesn't fit that we ordered? What if when he got it here that there was a wire burned into it and he had to fix that? What if I can just get myself all in a tither? What ifing? What if I don't have an oven for Thanksgiving? What if the floor's only half finished? Because that's the bathroom everybody uses in here in the front part of the house. What if, what if, what if? And I forget to go to the Word and to look to God and remind myself, God will supply all of my needs. Do I need an oven? Not really. Yeah, it's nice, of course. As soon as we got the oven fixed, we baked like 10 things, you know. We've baked fish sticks, baked French fries, baked cornbread. My daughter baked a pork shoulder yesterday. So we immediately went to baking stuff. Can I live without it? Yeah, I could. So is it a want or is it a need? Certainly is a handy thing to have with the holidays. That's for sure. Bathroom floor. Well, yeah, you kind of need a bathroom floor. But can you make do? Can you patch it up? Can you fix it? You've got a bathroom. I've got a roof. So in thinking about Thanksgiving, a lot of it for me with this Bible verse is God has met all of my needs. Not all of my wants, but all of my needs. Personally, I'd like to gut the whole bathroom. Take the tub out, take the shower out. I mean, wipe it out, cut it out, just totally gut it and rebuild it. But can I be satisfied with just a floor replaced? Yeah, I can be satisfied with that. Would I like to have a brand new stove? Not now, because I don't want to pull that one back out, have to go through that again. So, yeah, it'd be nice to have all new appliances. I would love all new appliances. But I have a refrigerator that's just a year old, and it works fine. We, as in Randy, fixed the oven. I held the flashlight. So I helped. I'm like the little girl with the hamburger helper. I helped. So, you know, yeah, we patched it up and made it work. And I will, Lord willing, have an oven, unless something burns out on this one. So, you know, I think that sometimes we think God's a genie in a bottle. And the Bible says whatever you ask for in his name, you will get it. But how much of our asking is amiss? And how much of our needs are wants? I think I want a whole lot more than I need. I do not need one piece of clothes. Do I keep buying them? Yes, I do. I don't need shoes. Do I keep buying them? Yes, I do. I love socks. I have 3 drawers of socks. Darks, lights, and fuzzies. So instead of saying, oh, I wish, I want, I need to focus more on being thankful. And, you know, this verse, we've got to go all the way to the end of it. Not only does God meet our needs, he meets them according to the riches of his glory, which is in Jesus. So, you know, he doesn't meet my needs based on my glory. It's on his glory, which was through Christ Jesus. So at the holidays this year, whenever you're thinking about all the things that you wanted to get done for the holidays, like I'm thinking about, and all the things you want and you wish and you hope and if only, you know, it's good sometimes just to stop and look around and be thankful for all that we do have. And look around us. You know, there's always somebody in worse shape than we're in. And, you know, I'm the world's worst to get the poor pitiful me's, but there's always somebody that's in worse shape. And somebody would probably be proud of my old broke stove that had 4 working burners somewhere. Leanne, oh, the Zevias. I've had the Zevia drinks before. I like those. They're pretty good. They are kind of pricey. Yeah. Oh, you drink a sparkling water a day? Do you put any, I like lime wedges in my things. I've heard you tell people that you have some clothes for them. It's great. Yeah, I do like to share. I do. And for Dee and Brenda and Rita, my sister-in-laws, I had a bag of clothes I was going to bring to the family reunion, and Randy wouldn't let me. He said, no, you ain't taking them. And I said, well, yeah, but they can go through them and pick through them. Well, they don't need clothes. I said, no, but every woman likes new clothes, new to them clothes. Anyway, I may overrule him, and next spring when we have our family reunion, bring them anyway. Because I love to go through. I love hand-me-downs. I love used stuff. Love hand-me-downs. Absolutely. So, yeah, it's important to share what we have, Carla. You know, and not only does the recipient get a blessing, but I think we get a whole lot more out of it than what we give. So, and this is the season of giving, and it should be a year-round season. So, all right, gang, I will talk to you all later. People that are in the sleigh, I will be seeing you Sunday night and popping in. I'm going grocery shopping tomorrow for the holidays, and I will probably jump on over there. Oh, the Mios? Yes. Those are pretty good. Yes. All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys later, and tonight, before you go to bed, look around and think of one thing you're thankful for that you didn't have to have, but God seemed fit to let you have it anyway. Mwah. Love you guys. Bye-bye.